Check 1 2 3 1 2.
Okay. Check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2.
If you're looking for the pulse of Tampa Bay sports, Beckles and Recher is the #1 source. The new guard, raising up the bar. Intelligent sports talk in your own backyard. Ain't no competition, ask the fans why. Beckles and Recher got it by a landslide. Don't fret, microphone check, stand by. Yo, Fox, where they at? Where my two favorite guys? Here they go, 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 here they go.
Welcome back to the Beckles and Recher podcast. We're hanging out here at the Dignitary Cafe in the back lounge area. I'm sipping on some Kratom, and Mr. Recher's just kind of raw dogging it over there. What's good, dog? You good?
That's a great way to introduce somebody.
You know, how are you? Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Everything is good. I hope you're happy. Last week you caused a ruckus.
I caused a ruckus.
You caused a ruckus. I heard after after our podcast, I think Barrett Publications or whatever they are.
Barrett Sports Media.
Yeah, them. They wrote an article about us. First of all, what you said. One love to you for listening. We appreciate it. That's national. We love national love. Caused a ruckus, I was just, saying my mind and things that may happen. I didn't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, so I don't think I hurt anybody's feelings. So
I think you might have.
But you know what, though?
Listen, if a new sports radio station comes into town, are you expected not to believe that you're going to do well?
Well, no. First of all, Jay, all that was a joke because I'm 57, and
are you?
I don't let anybody hurt my feelings unless you guys are maybe paying me money. If you're paying me money, you can hurt my feelings a little bit. That's the way it goes. But if you ain't paying me money, I'm not a feelings guy. You know me. I'm not a big feeling guy. You know that.
No.
You know that.
Is this here for some reason?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is? Okay.
It is. You don't remember this right here?
Oh, I do remember it. Look at easy.
What happened to the thing? You took it off. You should have kept it on.
No,
you should have kept it on. Anyways, we're hanging out here at Dignitary Cafe, and once again, everybody nationally has listened to the show, so welcome. And and we're obviously doing some good things. Now, we get a chance to do this once a week, and we kind of recap all the things going on in the sports world and in the world in general.
I feel like we should bow our head.
What are we bowing for?
Have a moment of silence.
For
the guy that we spoke about yesterday on my podcast. Talk about him again.
Oh,
that
no.
is
Oh, no.
One of the greatest draft picks in the history of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Joe Tryon Swing. Your favorite guy, and I cannot believe you did not wear your JTS number 9 jersey to the podcast today. But my goodness, what a career. So many moments that are just seminal and so memorable. I just don't know how the Buccaneers are going to replace.
Name them.
Name them? Joe Tryon Shoinka.
No. Name the moments.
He wore his glasses inside the locker room.
I'll wait for the moment.
He showed up early to training
I'll wait
camp.
for them on the field, please.
On the field.
On the football field,
looked
please.
Fantastic in a uniform.
You look so good in your
fantastic biceps.
Can I tell you something funny? When you said number 9, I thought to myself, if you asked me what number he was, I swear to you, I might not have known. Like that means he was pretty anonymous. You don't want to be an anonymous football player. You know what I'm saying? It's just I don't get it. I didn't get the whole era. I didn't get it.
The JTS.
I didn't get the whole era. I didn't get
JTS era.
Do
you think you were too hard on him?
No, absolutely. Well, if I was too hard on him, like I try not to be personal with anybody. Okay, and
people think it is.
I know,
right?
that's fine, and that's fine. And if I saw the person, whether it be Gerald McCoy, whether it be Barrett Ruud, whether it be Gaines Adams, whether it be JTS, they would say, "What's my problem with you?" I would say, "Let's go watch the film. Look at you here. Look how far from the play you are. Look how you're running 5 yards past the quarterback. Look how unaware you are here. Look at you here getting okay. Greatness is never 5 yards from the quarterback when he throws the ball. But when you're consistently 5 yards away from the quarterback, that's not me being mean anymore. That's the film. They knew what the film said. If he was this is what's weird about football. If you're a 5th-round pick like me, you got to climb your way up. If you're a 1st-round pick, you got to really F up to fall down. And it's kind of messed up. Because if Joe Tryon Shoinka was a 5th-round pick, we'd have never heard of him, I don't think.
Right.
Because he never did anything.
You think he'll catch on next year with somebody?
Somebody will give him a chance.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you right now, he'll never be a great football player. He'll never be a great football player. He won't.
Never a 10-sack guy?
No, never. No, absolutely not. What have you seen?
Shouldn't people have to apologize to you?
No, but let me also say this.
Apologize to Ian Beckles.
I'm going to also say this, okay? When I complain about an athlete, you know who I'm really complaining to? The person who picked the athlete.
Oh, so Jason Light?
Absolutely. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka didn't tell anybody how good he was. So if you get picked in the first round, that's not your fault. So Keith McCants was the 4th pick in the draft, ahead of a Junior Seau. Rest in peace, Keith. Ahead of Junior Seau. It's a terrible pick. But Keith didn't tell you to pick him 4th. Right. You picked him way too soon. Once again, throw them all back in the hat, redraft. Where do you think Keith McCants goes? I don't know if he goes in the top 7 rounds. I don't know if he goes in the top 7 rounds because he played 3 years and he never made a play. No, who would want if Joe Tryon-Shoyinka's out there? You think anybody's going to pay him money?
Probably not.
No. He'll be on a team. Nobody's bidding for this kid right now. That should tell you something.
What happens if he, I could just see him playing the Bucs next year, coming up with a sack.
On who?
On the Bucs.
Which tackle?
Yeah, no tackle, right?
I got some news for you, brother.
Where could he slide to a different position?
We're inside?
I don't know.
He's narrow, bro. He don't have no hips. He don't have no hip thrust. Hip thrust is the key. You know that. Been that way forever.
You know that.
Been that way forever.
Ian, focus on hip thrusts.
Hip thrust.
And sacks. Shocker.
You know what I'm saying?
So regardless, the Buccaneers need a pass.
They need heat.
They need
heat. Like, Vita Vea is a perfect sidekick to somebody. He can't be. Kalijah Kancey that's a good word. Good. But Kalijah Kancey is still not a great football player. He's still young. He still makes some young mistakes. He still jumps out of gaps. He's really explosive. He just needs to learn how to finish his moves.
Right.
But I could see it, okay? You've never heard me say anything negative about Kalijah Kancey. I like the way the kid plays. He's just not a great football player yet. Vita Vea at times is unblockable, but he's not able to do that all game, okay? That's not the kind of game that you could do. Like, I played against bull rushers. You ever bull rush somebody? It's exhausting, okay? It's like doing 5 sets of squats, and you got to come back and do it again. So you might be great for a little bit, but then he gets exhausted. I think that's what Warren Sapp was saying with the heat. He doesn't think he's going to be successful. And Vita's been successful, but I don't know if he's been as successful as his pick to this point.
Another first-round pick.
I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Vita, listen, if I constructed a team out of the whole NFL on everything I love, I might start with Vita. But whatever I put around him, though, is going to be really good.
Right.
And now we got Vita as maybe my 4th best rusher. You're in big, big trouble.
It is kind of wild how productive he's been in getting to the passer at that position with not much help on the outside, right?
Nobody else around.
It is a different game now when we look at professional athletes, especially in the NFL, and we were talking about this before the show, with Cincinnati Bengals now talking about we're going to really take care of Jamar Chase. He's going to be one of the highest, if not the highest, non-quarterback of all time, and them talking about wanting to bring T. Higgins back, and they're working on a long-term deal, and T. Higgins just tweets out a picture of a blue hat, cap, a lie. Social media has really changed a lot of things for athletes where if a team, because back when you were playing, a team could say something, and it all pretty much was just your word against their word, and if the player didn't speak directly to a reporter at, either on the phone or at the facility, you weren't hearing from those guys. But now, there's a lot of these discussions with teams, and they can, feed these bits of information or narratives out to whether it's media members or agents. Now the players, they can just come right out, and they could be at the vicinity of their home in the middle of the night, and they could post a simple blue hat, and that is taking everybody by storm. Just that one little thing. The game certainly has changed since you suited up for the Bucs and Eagles.
Well, I mean, social media has its downfalls and it has its pluses too. I've talked to you. You probably heard the story a few times. Like one time, it was in the paper. Eric Rett turns down a 4-year. I don't know what the numbers were.
4-year 32 or something like
4-year
that.
$32 million contract, and I saw him in the locker room. I go, Eric, come here, dog. I go, what are you doing? He goes, what? I go, you turned down a 4-year 32. He goes, let me show you the contract. In the first 2 years, he made $3 million. See what I'm saying? So that's not a 4-year 32. It's a 2-year $3 million contract. Mm-hmm. So the paper is going to write what the Buccaneers say to write, okay? Because the Buccaneers own the paper. Mm-hmm. So with social media, like I had an issue once with one of the reporters, and I'm cool with him now. Wrote I didn't play well that game, and I actually played very well. That was what my offensive line coach said. So wouldn't you have an issue with that?
Right.
If somebody wrote in the paper you played poorly and your offensive line coach said you played great, Like, anybody in the world would have a problem with that. So if social media was existing today, you know what I would have done? Put my phone on. Yo, what do you want to say about you writing click, and I would have put them right on it. I have every right to do that because they're doing it to me every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I love when people say social media is the devil. Nope. You're the devil.
It really is just a way to amplify what people.
It's who you are. Mm-hmm. Whatever comes out of you, because you can look at my social media, brother. I don't know if I've ever said anything political. I don't think I've ever said anything really even controversial, although people will spin some things, but, that's the way the world is. But it's really a microcosm of you, and if it's all political, who wants to hang out with that? I don't want to hang out with somebody talking about Joe Biden or Donald Trump or Kamala. I don't give a crap. So
it's a phenomenal job.
It's too much. I mean, stop. If politics is too much, that important to you, just stop. Nobody likes you.
Either side.
I'm not on the side. I said they both suck bad. Both sides suck terribly. I'm being real about it.
Who would be the one teammate that you had over the years that it's a good thing that social media wasn't around?
Oh, boy.
What a loaded question.
Oh, boy. It's my people, though. My people, for real, though. Mm-hmm. We hung out. Like, I did Tony Mayberry on my In the Trenches yesterday, and Tony was actually great. We came out with a lot of good stories, and we were talking about the levels of, freaky.
Oh,
the freak level, you know what I'm saying?
Get your freak on.
Me and Tony were we were almost on the bottom of the freak level. Me and Tony. I can say this. I was on a little higher than Tony. Tony was a guy, he went home early, like, where Tony? And Tony's gone. Okay, I'm just being real about it. And I'd be gone a little bit after that. But the levels got really, really high, okay? And this one individual, when he came to town, the actual quote was, so-and-so drove the price of pussy sky high, okay? So that was going on in the locker room. And and if he was here, I'd probably tell the same story. Alvin Harper, there was social media, it wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked. Ever. It was a lot.
So what? It was just so many girls?
It was a lot. Like, all the time, it was a lot. And he came, it seemed like when he got here.
Come on, you got to tell me what a lot means. You got to be
Jesus.
Come on, get there.
I don't like talking on folks, but, like, little things like he'd pull up in Ybor, pull up on 7th Street when it's closed, pulls up with his Lamborghini and comes out with one of the baddest young ladies I've ever seen in my life, stuff like that. And, some people just didn't hide stuff. Some people just think. I remember my wife one time, my ex-wife, she says, how promiscuous is Alvin Harper? And I go, we don't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And listen, like I say, it was my people, but I'm in the same town. I'm not saying anything. there's certain people.
Right.
If you keep on hearing the same story, like, you're not really hiding anything.
Right.
It's the same story. Me and him are cool. We go to Hooters and stuff like that. He like to get his wings extra crispy and just the flats.
Crispy.
Extra crispy in the flat. I'm surprised he didn't get real fat.
Oh my God.
He liked to eat. He really did.
So, it's all about, you're defending your teammate. You're there for him. You're not going to speak ill of him. Oh. And another guy that's been kind of vilified is your guy Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And now your guy, another one of your guys, Jets head coach Aaron Glenn, is talking about how he was. I don't know if you heard his press conference at the combine. My guy is like, he looks like he's ready to fight.
Okay.
And he said that there's members of the Jets team, not the organization, but the team, including a guy like Quinnen Williams, arguably their best player, not too happy about them moving on from Aaron Rodgers. Quinnen Williams coming out saying something to the effect of, man, I guess, we're not going to compete again. We're going to rebuild again. I know, and everybody knows, your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers, but can you put yourself in the shoes of Quinnen Williams and why he would feel that way? And if you were a teammate of his, what would you tell him, knowing that you haven't won anything? And I think that's, a guy like, and I'm not talking smack, but you've obviously didn't have a long playoff career, right?
Not.
So if you work out, but that's why I think
no, that's real.
You're good to speak on this because when you look at Quinnen Williams, he's a guy that hasn't won anything, and he's like, man, we haven't had a quarterback in so long. I understand on the outside it may be terrible, but it's what we had, and got to think it would probably get better next year with another a year after the Achilles injury. So what do you say to that?
Well, first of all, you can bring up any player in the locker room, and half the people in the locker room will like him, and half of them
right.
Okay, that's a fact.
It'll
right?
be a split.
What you just said is what I was going to say. I go, what does he know? What difference does he know? Who's he comparing Aaron to? Every other person. Would you
play with him? Like if you were in year 6 or 7 of your career,
yes,
right? You've had a couple of different quarterbacks, right? And you had the ability to have a quarterback in there that was an MVP,
yes,
and a Super Bowl champion. And maybe on the outside it looks worse than it actually was, but you had a 41-year-old quarterback that you knew that he had some talent. Would you try to say, okay, I'll deal with all the BS because it gives us the best chance of winning since I've been here, in comparison to, because as much as you're looking at it, and I know Aaron Glenn's looking at it going, hey man, we got to build this thing right. We got to make sure that our foundation is good. But you as a player, you're not thinking about 3 years. You might not be here for 3 years from now. You're looking at next year. And Aaron Rodgers, better than Zach Wilson or the other guys that we've had in my team.
It depends what angle you're asking me. Are you asking me as an angle as a player?
I'm asking you if you're Quinnen Williams.
Okay. So as a player then.
Right.
Okay, as a player, I could 100% play with Aaron Rodgers. 100%. Like, to me, I want the guy who's going to give us the best chance to win. I don't have to like him. Once again, Quinnen Williams is comparing Aaron Rodgers to all the guys I had before, and I don't have to mention them.
That's all you can do.
That's all you can do.
Right.
But I would say, just like I don't know what it's like to play in the playoffs, Quinnen Williams doesn't know what a championship quarterback really looks like, okay? If you ask me as a player, I have absolutely no problem playing with Aaron Rodgers. I didn't never have a problem playing with anybody I played with. If I'm the front office person or I'm the head coach, I am not starting my tenure with Aaron Rodgers. That's just not what I want to be the pulse of my football team. Because your quarterback is a pulse of your football team. And if you need somebody to have people start to win, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is the guy. I think Aaron Rodgers has been a guy to hold on. He's had a lot of talent around him. I don't know if anybody could say he's overachieved. He's talented as hell. But I just don't, that whole thing about, mental, emotional intelligence.
Right.
I don't think he has any. I don't know if he's a leader. I'm not in the locker room. I'll be honest. I'll be as total as honest that I've never liked Aaron Rodgers from the outside. Let me say this. I've been wrong before. I didn't like Tom Brady until Tom Brady came here, and I had to hear Tom Brady's stories, and I'm just like, okay, he's exactly what I like. That guy that walks in the locker room and walks up to somebody and shakes their hand, that's Derek Brooks.
Right.
Like that, strengthens a team. When you hear of Russell Wilson not giving his number out to his teammates, it's hard to say you're a leader when you, Baker Mayfield went out with a beer with Tristan Wirfs. That's, to me, that leadership is more important than you sitting in the box with the owner.
Right. Nobody
wants that. So I don't know if he's the right person to start it with for me.
So Aaron Glenn, you don't fault him at all.
Nope.
Trying to go in a different direction.
Nope. I think me and Aaron Glenn probably we think pretty similar. We're not that much different in age. He's an old school guy. Playing in Detroit, I know they have an old school attitude over there.
Right.
And it's got to be hard to start a chemistry and that word culture with a 41-year-old quarterback. That's hard because he can't outwork everybody. He can't do it. No way. And at the end of Tom Brady's, career, as much as he was competing, he was still a 40-something-year-old quarterback that couldn't get hit that much. He just can't. If you can't get hit, you know who got hit a lot? Ben Roethlisberger, Brad Johnson. If Brad Johnson couldn't get hit, he couldn't play. So you got to watch out. Aaron Rodgers can be another year old, and I just wouldn't want to start it that way. Give me a young kid and let me lose with some integrity and start to get better. What if you do? You win the first year, and then he's gone the next year, you got to start over. So you got to think of that as well.
Tough to tell an athlete, though. Yeah, you're just going to lose, right?
Oh, no, you can't. You can't say that. But the odds are, if you had to bet your house that the Jets next year go 500, which way are you going?
No way.
I'm not going above.
No.
No way. So they got to overachieve. They also have to depend on a 41-year-old quarterback to play 16 games. That's tough, man. Because the odds are not great. They're not great. They're having new systems. He has to learn a new system with new players, and it's not easy, man, for 41 years. It's not easy for anybody.
We were having a conversation before about keeping the political and stuff. Now, there was a early announcement that the Eagles were going to turn down a trip to the White House, but it was found out to be not true. Sounds like they will accept it if it is offered. It has not been offered yet. What do you make of that whole thing? It's in years past, it had nothing to do with political affiliation. I know Tim Thomas was one of the first guys that goalie for the Bruins didn't attend the White House when the Bruins went, and now it's become so political where it's team doesn't necessarily agree, and the majority of the people back in the day, you should just be, hey, this isn't really about politics. This is just about something that you've earned being one of the professional sports franchises. You keep the politics out of it. You just have a nice day. You take your pictures, and then you move on. Now it's become so politically driven that it's become such a hot button topic for people like us. Now it seems like Philadelphia, regardless of whether they agree or disagree with Trump's politics, sounds like they're going to go. I look at it as, I think it's an honor to be able to go to the White House, and regardless of whether you like the guy or not. Just suck it up for a day, go there, take your pictures, get out if you don't agree. But to turn it down, I feel like you're missing out on something. I don't think you go there and means you're endorsing the president. I think you go because it's one of the most iconic buildings in the world. You go with your teammates, you're getting celebrated on that day, and then you move on. Say you.
I hate telling other people they should think of as far as politics, okay? Because what you said right there turned some people's stomach. Okay, it didn't turn my stomach, okay? Because I'm not for anything. But some people would hear you say that it's an iconic building. They would tear you up with that, right?
Yeah, but I don't care.
No, I understand. I understand.
If you're the leader of the free world and the commander-in-chief
I understand
in the
that, but
country and you live
here. Sure, I understand. Okay, listen, I'm not on a side. And I'm certainly not on the president's side. Right. And I don't care which side the president is. If you are completely against Trump, which a lot of people are. We know they are, okay? And I'm not completely against him. I'm not a fan. I would probably go. I'm just going to I would go for the experience myself. If I was a staunch anti-Trump person, I wouldn't go. Okay? Because that's the way I'm built, okay? So if you don't go, that's okay for me. I don't care if you go there with the MAGA hat. I don't care if you don't want to go. Don't force anybody to go. That's un-American, okay? Yeah. I don't care if everybody and Trump fans are going to go, oh my God, it's terrible and you're anti-American. If it was Kamala Harris, would you go? And
what if they said yes?
But the thing is, there's going to be this story every year now. Watch, every year this story is going to come out because somebody's going to write it because it's true. There's going to be some players on the team that aren't going to like the president. That's just the way it's going to go.
But I don't know if the story is whether they like him or not. It's whether they're going to go or not.
Well, I mean, if you go and nobody shows up, it's not. That doesn't make anybody look good. They're not going to do that.
For everybody, that's what I'm saying. Like, you may not be in agreement of Trump and his politics, but you would still go.
I'm not in agreement in anybody in their politics.
No, but that's what I'm saying. The question is would you? Are people looking at the situation and are they still going to go regardless of whether they like the politics or not?
Like, once again, I don't care why they go. That's my problem. Maybe I'm just the wrong person to ask because nothing politically bothers me. It really doesn't.
Right.
I just don't care. I think, I'll be honest I think people have spent a lot of time talking about politics, and politics turns into abortion and transgender, and that's not politics. But that's what we talk about. It's so stupid. Like, you can't tell me who is better, Biden, Obama, or Trump. What barometer are you measuring it on? So everybody's so stupid to me, thinking that they know politics. Nobody knows politics. Nobody knows politics.
To me,
no way.
I judge them purely on their affiliation with sports. So I judge Biden on how he rides a bicycle. I judge
How he eats ice cream?
Obama, how he fills out his madness brackets.
He was fantastic doing the March Madness. He really was.
Donald Trump on how many WrestleManias he had at Trump Plaza.
He was the best of all time.
So
I'm in the Hall of Fame.
His dancing
HOF.
skills. Call me Huff. I'm the Huff. Wonderful job. I'm the
Let's
Huff.
pawn those people. We shouldn't be talking about
What?
Trump. That's Trump.
This guy?
Let's pawn those people.
No, but I mean, you look at it, and I maybe we're probably the wrong people to ask.
100%.
But
Okay, listen. This is real, okay? I don't think our politics are that different in most things. I think it does differ a little bit.
maybe
In general, though, like, we're not the average.
dying on a hill.
We're not
dying
the
on a hill.
No,
we're not dying on a hill for our politics.
I'm not dying on a hill for much other than my family.
Yeah.
I don't really care about much other than, my finances and stuff like that. But I think we're strong-minded people, but when you come down to our core, I think a lot of our being is very similar.
Right.
But I think there's a lot of people on the other side. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If there's blue and red, which there is, I think we're both closer to the same side. Okay, so if, like, I always said this, people are like, man, you and Ron, your show was great. And I said, you know why it was great? And I go, it's because, we have Tucker Carlson, who does a great job over here, and Anderson Cooper does a great job over here. It was Anderson Cooper and Tucker Carlson doing the show.
Yeah, but I don't think you guys ever really.
It wasn't about politics, Doug. Listen to me here.
Yeah, no. It wasn't.
And because, listen, you know this. Once you get behind this mic, you're going to have people that don't like you.
Yeah, of course.
Listen to this. The people that don't like me of Ron.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. So we had everybody. We were arguing both sides, and I think people like that. Like, if we talk politics, which we thank God never really did, we'd be going at it. And a lot of the topics whether you say something's political or not, a lot of things are political. Okay,
Right.
So a lot of times our mentality wasn't the same, and I think that makes for the best. I think makes for the best radio. If you both think alike, it gets bubblegummy.
Yeah, or just people bitching all the time.
Well,
it's one or the other.
Yeah, I don't like
right?
the bitching part.
Yeah.
I don't like. I try not to bitch. That's why the politics thing to me, I don't find it to be real. Like, I'm being serious about that. Like, and I think with social media, all the things that we're learning through social media, they're not real things. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're telling us it's corrupt now. Like, it's okay to lie. No, that's not a lie. Yeah, it's a lie.
Right.
So what is happening? Like, you can make salutes that were real bad 50 years ago that aren't bad today. And, like, there's people that hate a whole race and a whole section of people because of people in Hollywood or because of one person doing it. It's a lot for me, okay? And I don't care what you look like, what your color is. If you're excluding a whole brand of people, you ain't moving forward.
You're not allowed here.
In this place, because I got some news for you. If you walk in this place, it is the band of gypsies and the land of lost toys.
Well,
Misfit toys.
The island
Remember,
of Misfit toys. The island of Misfit toys.
Yeah, Yukon Cornelius and them.
Yeah.
Which one are you?
You're
You're the train with the square wheels.
The train with the square wheels.
Yeah, definitely.
What are you?
I'm Yukon Cornelius, of course.
You're the big backpack. One of the Ponzo brought up a great thing too, talking about the Yankees finally made an adjustment to their beard policy after many, many years.
Yes.
Where you had facial hair was just a mustache. Now you're allowed to have finely groomed beards. What did you make of the policy before that? And what do you think of them adapting and changing now?
I have no problem with it. I actually like it.
Right.
I like it. Like, to me.
So as far as being different, you like the policy of?
Yes.
So did I.
Yes. And you know what? I don't like them changing it. And that's just me. I mean, if they want to do it, they could do it. It's a modern day thing.
I felt like it was fake outrage. I felt like it was fake outrage when people were like, I can't believe they would do this. They need to get with the modern times. Like, they were the only team that did it.
There's
What's
nothing
the
you
big
can
deal?
do, Jay, without fake outrage coming,
No,
man.
I'm with you.
Fake
But
outrage
still,
is part of
if
it.
you're one of those people that didn't want to shave your face to play for the Yankees, like if it's that serious to you, like you're allowed to go to beer. It's not like they go up, they follow you around in the off season. It was like you better keep you're allowed to have a beer in the off season. This was just an old school thing that George Steinbrenner put into play, and it was the same thing for everybody within the organization. And now, they're saying like, oh, you missed out on free agents. Like, you're going to go to the biggest market, and you are more worried about your facial hair than your productivity on the field. Probably aren't going to be that good anyway. So, stay over there. Fine, go. There's 29 other teams to play for. I never understood why everybody got so bent out of shape for it. You either shave and conform. You're not allowed to have a straggly ass beard if you join the freaking military when you're 18. So what's the difference? Like, it was something different. Now they're changing and they're conforming. I don't know. I don't like that they changed.
See, my thing is 80% of me is old school, and I'm like, okay, I get it, okay. But then there's a 20% of me that says it's 2025. Life is different. People have neck tattoos. People have like.
But they have people on there with neck tattoos.
Yeah, but the thing is, whether we know it or not, okay, it may seem like it's not a big deal. But even if 2 baseball players a year don't want to come because of the beards, and it's happened. It has to have happened. There's no way.
No, it has.
Okay, so even if it's 2, that's 2 players you just missed out on. So that doesn't make you better. So, but once again, there's new people and new administration, and they're like, what haven't we changed? We've changed everything else. Why do we have to keep this? All due respect to Mr. Steinbrenner, it's time to move on. I understand both sides of it. I just think because to me, with the lore of the Yankees, it's different. It's way different. I'm not a Yankee. I can't stand the Yankees. It's way different to play for the Yankees than it is to play for any other team. I just said it, and I'm not a Yankee fan. So if you go play for the Yankees, you're supposed to act differently. And I think that's what they're going to miss out on. Because that's That's different. You go to the Yankees, and I think the Dallas Cowboys maybe used to be that back in the day. They're certainly not that now. But there's certain teams that just have a different swag, and maybe they're losing their swag a little bit. Maybe that's all they had left,
So by getting rid of it, you lose the swag.
I just talked myself back into I want it back.
Yeah. I don't know. They're never going to go back.
No, they can't go backwards now.
No.
Can't go backwards anymore.
And that's the weird thing is, like, really, out of all things, you get treated like $1 million. You have your own, the payroll, as high as it is. You have your own channel. Like, you have all these things. You get you get treated so well. And now people are complaining because you got to shave your face. Honestly, man.
Yeah, it seems tic-tac, you know what I mean?
This comes from a guy that wears a beard. But if I wanted to play for the Yankees, or any...
Is that too much of a beard? The Yankees?
Now?
Yeah.
Probably
back
not.
then?
Yeah.
Well,
no beard at all.
At all?
At all. It's got to be baby face and you can wear the mustache.
I thought you could have it down low. You can't
mustache.
have it all. Just mustache. It's cheesy.
And your hair's got to be above your...
Oh, now I don't like it.
Not that bad. Honestly, though, if you were in the prime of your career, in the NFL...
You don't have to ask me a question. You don't have to ask me
You would have done it.
You don't have to ask me a question.
You would have done it.
Jay, I would have done way more than that.
That's what I'm saying. It's like people act like it's a right to play for these.
You know what kind of sacrifices I made? You think not cutting like freaking beard is a big deal? I mean,
people are acting like you had to donate a kidney.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Guys.
It's not that big of a damn deal. We're different. Listen, every team is different in the NFL. When I was here in Tampa Bay, Tony Dungy was our coach. Oh. Everybody wore suits, okay? Nobody cursed. Then I went to Philadelphia. Everybody was in fatigues and all this stuff like that. And everybody's smoking weed and drinking alcohol. Everybody treats things differently. So the Yankees just did something a little classier, but that's gone.
Before we go, I want to bring this up. Did you see this? The report card for the Bucks from the NFLPA?
I did not.
27th out of 32 teams.
As far as organizations?
We're going to go through it.
Oh, boy.
Treatment of families. 25th out of 32. C-. Bucks provide daycare during home games. Stop charging $90 per child this year, which one of 10 teams.
Whoa.
They used to charge $90 per kid on game day.
Whoa. Let's stop right there. Bucks are charging the families $90 for their kids.
Stop this.
Shame.
One of 10 teams that did not offer a family room during home games.
Oh my God.
Players rate the post-game family area 6.4 out of 10, ranking them 28 out of 10. Which is better. Players feel that the team organizes team events several times per year. Ranks 14. Think of that.
Don't ever get invited. I just saw that somebody sent me, I think Ty J sent me a little snippet of offensive lineman starts in the Buccaneers. Mm-hmm. And at the top of it was Paul Gruber. Tony Bearbeer was number 2. I think Tristan Wirfs might be number 3. Now I'll pull it up. I'm still number 10. I'm still holding on.
Nice.
But, it's like they don't know, brother. Yeah, it's not like I'm not,
All right, let's go move on to food and dining area. Mm-hmm. They're 28th out of 32, Ian. 28th of 32.
Well, it's hard for me to bitch and moan about it because you should have seen what we had back in the day.
Listen to this. The Bucs rate the taste of their team's food 6.4 out of 10, a ranking of 30 out of 32. Rate the freshness of the food 7.16 out of 10, a ranking of 28 out of 32. In their dining area, 25th out of 30.
We're still in the slums, man.
Dietitian/nutritionist, 16th out of 32, middle of the pack for a plus. 89% of players report that they get an individualized nutrition plan, ranking the Bucs 9 out of 32. Players feel that their nutrition acceptable, ranking of 20 out of 32. Very complicated of their team's dietitian. Okay, not much there.
Well, let me say this.
This one's the biggest.
The cafeteria and the nutritionist, back in the day when I played, that was one person, Jose. Yeah. Jose cooked the food. You had a nutrition question, go ask Jose.
They're Jose.
You want to find out how to make a picadillo? Go ask Jose. One guy.
This is one of the biggest ones. That's locker room. 21st out of 32, Ian. Okay. 84% of players feel they have enough room in their individual lockers, a ranking of 17 out of 30. 78% of players feel the locker room size is adequate, ranking 21 out of 30. However, players have several complaints about cleanliness, including poor ventilation and a persistent bad smell. 44% identify ongoing plumbing issues in the locker room. So near half of your team of some of the biggest human beings on earth are unhappy with the plumbing issues.
Don't they make $250 million a year? How much could it possibly cost to to redo all the plumbing? Give me a number.
Who do you think?
Give me a number.
I want you.
If it's $1 million,
let me ask you this question: 44% of the Bucs, right, have issues with. Do you think it's Chase McLaughlin? Do you think it's Baker Mayfield that has the issues with the plumbing?
Come on.
Who do you think has issues with the plumbing? Vita Vea?
She does.
Tristan Wirfs? Luke Gedeke? You got some of the biggest human beings in this city, and they're worried about dropping a deuce.
It's hard to breathe that big.
Bro! I don't know. It is bad.
I don't know.
Bad. C+ training room, 24th out of 32. 84% feel they have enough full-time trainers, 24th out of 32. And, therapist, hot tub, right around 21. Training staff was good, 21 out of 32, but 88% thought they have enough one-on-one training. Right. Same thing with the weight room, not bad as well. Strength coaches, 100% of players report they get an individualized plan. Okay. Their strength coaching staff, one of the 3 teams in the league. And then the last 3. Team travel, C-, 26th out of 32 for team travel. 65% of the Bucs players believe they have a comfortable amount of personal space on team flights, ranking them 26 of 32. So that means 35% of your team not comfortable traveling. Players feel that their team's travel schedule is somewhat efficient, 18 out of 30. Then this is the killer. Players must sit in smaller seats in the back of the plane, while the staff sit in the larger first-class seats.
That's normal.
I get that. If you're Tristan Wirfs and Luke Gedeke sitting butt to butt in the back of the plane.
Can I say something, though? It's normal for some teams. Other teams, it's the other way around. That's true. Like, there's some, if you really think about it now, after a football game, it's beneficial to have your stars sitting in first-class seats, okay?
Yes.
You're going to put Tristan Wirfs. Now, when I got to Tampa, me and Tony used to always sit next to each other, but we had a 3-seater. And when I got to Philadelphia, all the veterans had our own seat, okay? So that wasn't a big deal. But the older school dudes like Irvin Fryer and sometimes Rodney Pete. I would see them sitting in the front with all the brass and stuff. I wasn't trying to be up there anyway. You know what I mean? I don't really mix. I don't mix with the brass too well.
Let's go to these last two. Head coach. 100% of the Buccaneers feel that their head coach, Todd Bowles, is efficient with their time. He is
very
one
important.
of 6 coaches across the league to receive a perfect score.
Now, everybody else wants to get rid of Todd Bowles. Don't know why. Still don't. Actually.
Hold on. The players feel that Bowles is moderately receptive to locker room feedback on the team, ranking him 24th of 32 head coaches in the league. So,
the locker room needs? What does that mean?
probably a little bit of everything.
That's
Probably
pretty
some of the
vague,
stuff
though.
in there.
Locker
It
room needs is very, very vague. Could be a lot of things.
Yeah. And then ownership. D+, 27th out of 32. The Glazer family's average rating for perceived willingness to invest in the facilities is 6.5 out of 10. From the Bucs players, a ranking of 27 out of 32. The players feel that the Glazer family slightly contributes to a positive team culture, 27 out of 32. Players feel that the Glazer family is somewhat committed to building a competitive team, a rank of 26 out of 32. And a story that came out about a month and a half ago from ESPN about how, isn't it crazy that Manchester United never comes to Tampa? Glazers owning both teams, and part of the reason why is the Glazer family is worried that the United players will come over here and realize how nice the facilities are for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So if they say that, and the Buccaneers players themselves think of, they think so lowly of the facilities here. Just imagine how bad they are in England. But that's not a positive sign. And you don't hear nearly the amount of dislike for the Glazer family over here than you do across the pond. Part of that, obviously, them being Americans. It's not good, man. They were a D- last year, a D+ this year. The Glazer family certainly not big fan. The players are not big fans of the owner.
Well, here's a sad part. Start from the bottom right there where it says ownership. Let me flip the script on you real quick. You ready? Let me get the lightning. Go.
Ownership.
Hey, Jeffrey Vinnick's an A. He gives back to the community.
Yeah.
Everything in Amalie changes all the time.
Right.
And it's state of the art. The announcers are fantastic. The experience is fantastic. It's the best experience in Tampa Bay. Go ahead.
Head coach.
Oh, the one just with the that guy would just
Coop.
for our world.
Team travel, we don't know about that.
I have no idea.
Strength coaches, we don't know. Weight room, thing look good.
Can I be honest with you? The rest of it is just relevant to the players, but in the grand scheme of things, the big picture of it matters. Okay, because players talk.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so what happens is this: Tampa Bay has a bunch of players in their locker room. I promise you, there's a bunch of players that played elsewhere.
Yeah.
So if elsewhere looked like the Taj Mahal and you come here, like when I was here in Tampa Bay, like when I got here, I was like, wow, I thought NFL was going to be more than this. And it was more than that. I just didn't know. Like I was still in the Caprini Greens, and then we went to San Francisco, and they're up there, in the Hamptons, and I was like, that's not the same animal. That's a different, like they had 3 practice fields. We had 1 practice field, which was on the tarmac at the damn airport. Okay, we were just sucking in all the airplane fumes all the time. That's what we used to do. We had a shed outside that had the PR people. We had our weight room half was outside and it was rusty. Like this is an NFL football team. So there's different levels to things, and that's everything. But when you put money back into a team, you could see it that it affects them. Like they know that our organization is top notch. Like when my boy Ty J went to Dallas, he hit me up. He goes, dude, this is different, dog. He goes, I had 3 sweatsuits in my locker. I had 10 pairs of shoes. I had this, I had that. And I was like, God, I was like that doesn't happen in Tampa Bay, dog. You know what I mean? It's a different level. When I went to the Jets, it was a different level. So Tampa Bay's never really caught up, unfortunately. We were at the bottom. I think Cincinnati may have been below us back in the day. But Tampa Bay's always really being the bottom. And if you think about its complexes go, I bet they have one of the older complexes now.
Yeah, they do.
Yes, that's the problem.
We'll see. Because
stadiums, too.
There's a lot of money that is going to be going into Raymond James Stadium renovations over a couple of years. So you got to keep an eye on that as well. And I heard $400 million going into Amalie Arena as well.
Oh, really?
Yes, not a big.
Wow.
That's why looking at a stadium for baseball on this side of the bay is going to be awfully tough because I don't know where you're getting that money from.
They're still
because
talking
not
about
only are you
that?
going to be able to bring it in.
They're still talking about that?
Sir.
For real?
One thing to say, oh yeah, people are going to buy the stadium, but you got to build the stadium and buy the team.
I think it's comical people are still talking about it. I mean, like literally, I always ask people this question. How much progress have they made since day one? They haven't moved an inch in any way. And anyway, actually, we've gone backwards and we're not playing in a little bitty stadium on Dale Mabry. That's a spring training stadium. You know what's funny? I'm not a huge baseball fan. I enjoy baseball. I loved it growing up. And I listened to the Tampa people. Some of them are so oblivious even to what the Rays are about. I heard somebody say they're not even going to sell out Steinbrenner. I go, they average 16,000. That's 12,000. So, I mean, that's probably sold out already. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, Tampa, it's not a great place to go, Trop, but there was more people than you thought. Because they're back in the day, I remember 8,000. I remember those days, and those days were gone. I mean, every once in a while, but they still average 16,000. I mean, I'm sure it's not bottom, but it's definitely not top.
All right, make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at Recher, at Ian Beckles. You got anything else for the crew?
Come hang out Dignitary Cafe. We got some big things coming up, but we have some meet and greets. Hopefully, Beanie Siegel and possibly your boy Jadakiss. Possibly.
All right, so if he'll be here, that means Ian will forget my cell phone.
Oh, come on. You know I got you.
Come on, man.
Got you.
Yeah, at Ian Beckles, at Recher, 4817 Southwest Shore Boulevard. Go check him out, Dignitary Cafe. And yeah, man, you hit us up, subscribe, and like the channel. And back next Wednesday at 3. Podcast. Peace out.